What's up guys, Lifting here. In this video I'm going to showcase 5 very creative but very hipster build guides. You know, the type of build that if you play it you can claim yourself to be more interesting and intellectual than the rest of the world. Each of these guides are updated and relevant to the current running Abyss League. You can find a build guide for each individual build in the description below. Path of Exile hipster build number 1 on the list is Dariidar's Mirror Arrow and Blink Arrow Summoner. To scale the damage of the clones you need the right weapon, the right quiver and lots of minion damage nodes. For that reason the build is also played as a Necromancer. For defenses the build uses the Mind Over Matter Eldritch Battery combination and relies on your clones to function as decoys, which they do, and they do it pretty well. The build clears maps at a decent pace, but where it shines is when you swap in the appropriate single target gems for boss killing. The single target damage is great, and as you can see Dariidar actually killed the Shaper with this. Dariidar's build guide hasn't been updated for 3.1 specifically, but it is pretty much the same still as it was in 3.0. You just have the added freedom of the Abyss jewels now to tinker with. And speaking of which, I recently played something very similar to this build without realizing it, and a thing I did a little differently to great success, although not necessarily better, was to use the new minions can taunt and blind Abyss jewels to effectively turn the clones into mini tanks that also weaken the enemy's chance to hit. This was especially strong against bosses such as Argus in the Uberlab, and I found that I needed around 20% taunt and about 20 to 26% chance to blind in order for it to feel good in total. The second build on the list is Brightwaha's Shaper Stunned Tidebreaker Heavy Strike Stunner build. And yes, you heard right, this build can stunlock the Shaper. It does so by using the fairly new Tidebreaker two-handed mace together with Heavy Strike. This build can be played as either a Slayer or a Berserker, and if you prefer you can use Sunder for mapping or swap in an Ancestral Call gem together with Heavy Strike and rely on that. The stun mechanic in itself can be a bit hard to understand at first, but Brightwaha does his best to explain it in the guide, and I would recommend you read up on it to fully understand how or why your build is sometimes stunning and sometimes not. Overall, a really solid build that doesn't sacrifice power for the sake of ingenuity. The third build on the list is by one of those rare people who stream Path of Exile on YouTube. What? Yes, you heard right, they actually do exist. His name is Bobby Gugus, and he's written a good guide for you guys to follow if you want to play a LACERATE Bleed Gladiator build. The build is budget friendly, and for you guys who still haven't begun the league, probably it also works great as a league starter. The build can run about any map mod available, and as a matter of fact, Bobby boasts, "Can run every map mod, I don't even ID rares anymore." If you don't like the Gladiator, it's also entirely possible to play the build as a Raider, Assassin or Slayer, although Bobby notes that based on his preferences, he believes the Gladiator to be the best choice. The reason I chose this build is due to LACERATE's currently underplayed role in the meta. Right now we see a lot of Reeve, Cyclone, Blade Flurry, etc., which are all great skills, but so is LACERATE. Coming up fourth on the list is MRMOHO's Tri-Element Crit Trapper Saboteur. And if that title in itself isn't hipster enough for you, then nothing is. The thing is though, he pulls it off like a boss, and not only has he taken down all the Guardians with this setup, he also went ahead and molested the Shaper. The build works by having 3 trap setups, each using a different skill of a different element. The first is Fire Trap, the second Ice Trap, and the third is Shock Nova linked to the Trap support gem. By doing it this way you can apply shock with the lightning traps and trigger elemental equilibrium in between each trap hit for a massive damage boost. Now, as you can probably understand, this opens up for a very active and high maintenance gameplay. Not only do you need to time each trap correctly, you also have to position them and make effective use of the trap cooldown mechanic. This isn't for everyone, but if you don't like the right click mentality, then this might be for you. And now guys, the fifth and final hipster build on the list is a summoner. And I know what you guys are thinking, summoners, dude, those are meta as fuck at the moment. And well, to that I reply, touché. However, this particular summoner is not. This is Clooney's best Batman's pure zombie mancer guide. The build relies completely on just zombies and an animated guardian to make your zombies crazy tanky, while also providing them with a better area of effect. The build uses the cheap Montragul's Grasp scepter that makes it so that enemies killed by zombies explode, dealing fire damage. And I personally love this item, and I'm very happy to see more people use it. Clooney has supposedly managed to take down the Shaper with this setup. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a video for that, but I will trust his word, of course. Overall, the build is very budget friendly, so if you like zombies, you might like Clooney's build too. And that's it for this time, guys. 5 hipster builds that all work and function for 3.1, Abyss League, and War for the Atlas. I hope you enjoyed it, found a build you'd like to try, or simply got inspired some way. Lastly, before we end, I would like to ask you guys, what is the most hipster build you have ever played or tried or seen? Let us know down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more Path of Exile content, hit that bell, share these videos with your friends if you feel like it. Come visit me on Twitch for that live action, the link is below. Thank you for watching, and bros, do you even?